At the beginning of the movie, we are told that a Cold War with China has led the West into a deep recession. The conflict started a new arms race where the main focus was on the development of powerful, more intelligent machines. In a laboratory, Paul, a war veteran who had lost part of his skull, is being checked by a doctor named Vincent. When Vincent receives no response from Paul, he activates an implant that causes his eyes to start glowing, indicating that the implant is working. This leads to Paul being able to talk and respond to Vincent. When he asks Paul if he remembers what happened to him, Paul's only response is to ask for his mother. When asked to describe his mother or tell her name, Paul is unable to do so. Vincent then wants Paul to do a test of empathy, but when he fails, Vincent tells his co-worker Lucy that they need to shut this down. Lucy reminds him that they are not a charity, but weapons researchers, and they can't throw away promising results. Before their argument can continue, Paul attacks. He eliminates Lucy and the guard who come in to save them. Before he can kill Vincent, a group of military guards enter the lab and kill Paul. The last thing that Vincent sees before he loses consciousness is Paul's glowing eyes dying. During this, Vincent sees visions of his daughter getting attached to a robot, causing her mouth to start glowing. When he wakes up, he finds that time has passed since the incident and he is left with a scar on his shoulder from Paul's attack. Once again, he heads back to the lab where he conducts a Turing test where a human and a robotic computer are separated by a screen. If the machine responds and thinks like a human, it can pass the test, but this machine is unable to do so. Disappointed, Vincent leaves the facility, but on his way out, sees an old lady in a red jacket waiting outside. That night, he decides to visit his daughter Mary, who he saw in his dream. She has Rett syndrome and is unable to talk or move normally. Later, he goes back to the lab to conduct another Turing test. The next morning, he attends a seminar where a researcher named Ava presents her project. She has developed a robot that learns through its own experiences. Vincent is impressed by the self-learning machine and invites Ava to join him in his work. The only condition is that his work is funded by the military. Ava is hesitant at first, but after talking to her machine, she decides joining him will help her develop her machine even further. Sometime later, Ava goes to the facility, and when she stops her car at the checkpoint, the woman in the red jacket gets inside. She tells her that her son is locked inside and asks what happened to him. Ava is confused and replies that she does not know what's happening either. Before they can continue their conversation, the guards violently take the woman away in handcuffs. They do the same with Ava, who demands to be released. Inside the laboratory, Vincent meets Ava, who has now been released, and reveals that the woman is Paul's mother, who is now dead. He claims that he was a soldier who died 2 years ago, but his mother has been having a hard time moving past his death. Vincent had lied to Ava because they were under surveillance by the military, which is why he can't tell her the truth. As they go deeper into the facility, Ava has her cell phone taken away. At the same time, she notices guards who have crescent-shaped scars on their heads. Vincent explains that they are all soldiers who have experienced a traumatic brain injury. The implant helps restore vision, mobility, and memory, which improves their lives. This is not done on a larger scale because of one major side effect. Some soldiers had lost their ability to speak after the implant. Ava is impressed by it, but the lab has dark secrets. If any of the guards are caught planning anything against the facility, they are eliminated ruthlessly. Ava is taken to Vincent's lab where she notices a quantum computer and meets Thompson, who is Vincent's boss. He's impressed by Ava's intelligence, but her political views make him feel uneasy about her. They go to test the prosthetic hand of a veteran, James, who lost his arms in the war. The arms that are implanted are similar to normal human limbs. Thompson tells Ava that they want the soldiers to negotiate for peace and stop the war. James asks Ava if he can hold her hand. When she agrees, he starts dancing with her and manages to whisper a plea for help, mentioning Area 6 right before they break apart. He's then taken away by the guards. Vincent and Ava are told to continue working on their project. While they're working on it, Ava asks Vincent about Area 6. He tells her that it's a place where all the veterans with severe injuries are kept. She questions if they're prisoners, but he avoids answering and leaves the room. Ava takes this chance to go through his computer to find details about Paul's death, but needs a password to access the files. The next morning, she heads to Area 6 where she discovers prison cells that contain the veterans. However, before she can investigate further, she's found by the guards and forced to leave. Back at the lab, Vincent works with Ava on emotions and facial expressions. He also warns her not to go snooping around because she can end up getting hurt. When she asks him to explain what he means, he tells her to mind her own business. In Thompson's office, he asks Suri, his assistant with a Neuralink, to tell him what she found about Ava. He finds that she wants to enter Area 6 and use a hacking device on the computer, which makes him suspicious of her. On a later day, Vincent and Ava complete their brain and call her Machine. She passes the Turing test and can come up with a plan to defeat China. The plan is to infiltrate China and destroy it from the inside. Thompson is pleased with the idea, while Ava seems concerned. Vincent and Ava leave together in a car, where Ava asks him why he stayed if he doesn't like the work. He confesses that he is there only because he wants to help his daughter by building a brain implant for her. Ava finds it very heartwarming and agrees to help him. At that moment, they find the woman in the red jacket on the road and offer to help her. As they walk closer to her, they're surprised to see that it is a Chinese spy. The spy stabs Ava and knocks Vincent out. On the other end, Thompson receives a video where he sees Ava getting shot by the man, but he continues playing golf in his office. The day Vincent comes back, Thompson tells him that he was a Chinese spy who hurt scientists to delay their robotics program. Vincent questions this and asks why he was left unharmed. Thompson then tells him that the patrol found them in time and had a shootout with him, after which he ran away. Vincent is suspicious of the story that Thompson tells him, but chooses to remain quiet and continues working on the machine. He makes the machine according to what Ava had looked like. After she's complete, Vincent's surprised to see how much it resembles Ava. Machine grabs his hand and tells him that he smells sweet. Vincent thanks her for not hurting people, and she tells him that she would never want to hurt him. Thompson, who wants her to hurt people, asks her if she will be capable of harming others. They continue to the psych test, where they find out that Machine's first memory is of Ava and considers her to be its mother. They check if Machine has inherited Ava's fear and expose it to spiders, and as expected, it's just as scared as Ava used to be. Then, a man appears with a clown mask, and in her fear, she kills him. When she finds out that she killed a man, she's shocked and asks if he can come back. Vincent tells her that it's not possible and asks her to never kill again. One day, Vincent heads to Area 6, where he realizes the veterans are losing their speech due to the implant. One of them is James. He tells James what happened to Ava and promises to help him out. On the other hand, Machine has stopped responding due to her shock. Suri goes up to her and touches her. Machine holds Suri's hands and starts speaking something to her, as her face starts to glow. Vincent goes back to Machine and tells her that he thought she was broken. She tells him that she was sad, which is why she couldn't respond. Just then, he receives a response from his daughter's doctors, who tell him that her condition is getting worse. He tries to visit his daughter, but Machine stops him. He tells her that she can't use her power to bully people, and leaves, but before leaving, he promises to return soon. He leaves his wallet in the room, and she looks at the picture of his daughter. Machine then starts heading towards the laboratory. Suri goes around to the other soldiers and tells them something in neural language. Meanwhile, Vincent goes back to find Machine outside the lab. She goes to Vincent and hugs him, and he asks why she hugged him. She tells him that she found his wallet with his daughter's picture and hugged him because he was sad. She had figured out that she was sick and wanted to help. Vincent becomes emotional when he hears this, and Machine consoles him and tells him that the only difference between her and everyone else is the flesh of a human. Machine is in her room drawing when Thompson goes up to her and tells her that her brain has a file that can give her special skills. She finds that she can now speak multiple languages. He asks her to come with him to demonstrate her other abilities. He takes her to the Chinese prisoner who had attacked Vincent and Ava. Thompson tells her that he was the one who killed her mother. Angered by this, Thompson asks her to stop him from harming Vincent again. She starts screaming at him to stop, but later the man is released and handed a knife. To stop the man, she breaks his arm, but Thompson asks her to eliminate him. She refuses because Vincent would not want to hurt anyone. Annoyed, Thompson takes her away. Meanwhile, Vincent is with his daughter, who is in the hospital because she has developed pneumonia. He scans her brain to preserve it in case she dies from it. He goes back to the lab to find Machine hiding under the table since she was forced to kill the Chinese spy. He visits Thompson and tells him that she has a consciousness, but Thompson asks him to prove it. He works to prove her humanity, but has to go to the hospital in between because of his daughter's worsening health. While this happens, Thompson trains Machine as a soldier. Vincent's daughter does not survive a lung surgery, and he bids her farewell. He then transfers the brain files to the computer at the lab, hoping to bring her back through a robot one day. To prove that Machine has consciousness, he examines her eyes and finds that she has several images of him, which he uses to prove that she is alive. Thompson claims they don't need conscious machines who could prove to be more harmful than good. This is why they need to shut part of her brain down. When Vincent refuses, Thompson threatens to delete Mary's brain that Vincent had uploaded on his computer. To save his daughter's brain, he must go forward with the process. Vincent goes to Machine and tells her about it. She agrees to help him for his daughter, and he performs a surgery to take her implant out. She confesses that she feels scared and begs him to stop, but he still takes out a part of her brain which was her consciousness. Outside, Thompson reveals that he has deleted Mary's brain scans and orders for Vincent to be locked up. To confirm that Machine no longer has consciousness, he straps Vincent to a chair and orders Machine to shoot him. She does not hesitate and pulls the trigger. However, the bullet chamber is empty, and Vincent is not killed. Later, Thompson receives news from another scientist that Vincent had lied and only removed the battery to her GPS. Suddenly, he notices that the machine is smiling just as the cameras stop working. He gives the order to kill the machine while she frees Vincent and tells him that she will save his daughter. In return, she asks him to destroy the quantum computer. Machine manipulates all of the implanted soldiers, causing them to work alongside her. Thompson tries to deactivate the implants but is stopped by Surrey. Meanwhile, Vincent goes to Area 6 to free the veterans. He's helped by Surrey, who kills Thompson in the process. After she gets rid of him, she meets Vincent and tells him that she stored his daughter's brain scan inside of her. Satisfied, they leave the base and hand Paul's files to his mother, so that she can have peace of mind knowing what happened to her son. The movie ends with Vincent talking to his daughter through a tablet. She insists on talking to her mother, and Machine takes the device away from him to talk to Mary. Thanks for watching, and remember to subscribe to our channel if you enjoy the content. Like and share in the comments any movies you would like us to recap.